There's only one story that anyone in the world cares about right now.
Breaking news, the president tests positive for the coronavirus, revealing his diagnosis in a late-night tweet, saying he and the First Lady have COVID-19 and will quarantine immediately.
Breaking overnight, President Trump this morning at Walter Reed Medical Center.
The president's medical team is insisting he's doing well and is receiving doses of the experimental drug remdesivir and steroids. His doctors are also saying he could be released from the hospital as early as today.
That's right, people. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, is battling COVID-19. And before I say anything else, can I just say on the record, I do not want Donald Trump to die from this. I mean, I don't wish death on anyone. I also don't want him to die because then Mike Pence would be president. And then we might as well be dead because Mike Pence is the most boring human being on the planet. He's the most boring version of Donald Trump. All of the policies and none of the fun. If Trump is cocaine, Mike Pence is just flour. Your nose is still gonna burn, but nothing cool happens. It tastes like bread. Donald Trump is back at the White House. Yep, he did that thing that tough guys do in the movies where they tear the IV out of their arm and say, "I'm checking myself out of this hospital." And then he very carefully walked down the stairs to his car. I mean, just look at how he pats the banister like it's a puppy. That's a guy who thinks it looks weak to hold on to something, but also needs to reassure himself that it's there just in case. And that's why this whole COVID thing is a real dilemma for President Trump. Because sick man leaves hospital to continue getting round-the-clock medical attention at home is not exactly a flattering story. But sick man kicks virus's ass and can never get sick again? Now that's a good story.
I just left Walter Reed Medical Center, and I learned so much about coronavirus. And one thing that's for certain, don't let it dominate you. Don't be afraid of it. We're going back to work. We're going to be out front. As your leader, I had to do that. I knew there's danger to it, but I had to do it. I stood out front. I led. Nobody that's a leader would not do what I did. And I know there's a risk, there's a danger, but that's okay. And now I'm better, and maybe I'm immune. I don't know.
Maybe I'm immune. Maybe I'm Spider-Man. And I can shoot webs out of my wrists. Who knows? Pew, 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 pew. What the hell kind of a thing is that to say? Maybe I'm immune? I don't know. It sounds like the last thing a frat bro says right before he drinks the toilet water for 20 bucks. The nation's top generals and the guy who carries the nuclear football are all quarantining now. And you might think that this is the perfect opportunity to invade America because the Pentagon is going to have to coordinate America's defense over Zoom, but actually, given how infectious America is right now, good luck convincing your soldiers to attack. Sergey, now is perfect time. Go and occupy the White House. No, why don't you occupy White House? No, you go occupy White House. Yeah, why don't you? Yeah, but maybe you go. No, Sergey, you go. Basically, right now, America's that free mattress that you find on the curb. You could take it, but you know it's infested with something. And guys, I know that a lot of people are going to make fun of Stephen Miller for getting coronavirus, but please, we should all be concerned for him. Because with a forehead that big, can you imagine if he gets a fever? That's just going to affect climate change all by itself. Not to mention, Stephen Miller is at much higher risk because COVID is harder on people over 60. He's 35? Are you shitting me?
A fly stole the spotlight. It landed on Vice President Mike Pence's head and stayed there for about 2 minutes. Everyone but Pence seemed to notice.
The fly that landed on Mr. Pence's head and sat there for 2 minutes and 9 seconds.
I thought that the most effective being on that stage to go after Vice President Pence was that fly that landed on his head.
Who would have predicted a fly would steal the show?
Okay, can I just say that I was not surprised at all to see that fly land on Mike Pence. First of all, even a fly knows better than to touch a black woman's hair. And second, have you seen Mike Pence? The guy has bloody eyes and the world's palest skin. That fly probably thought he was a dead body. Fly was like, yo, this is where I be. And I was like, whoa, this shit moved. And look, flies land on people all the time. There's nothing crazy about that. What was crazy is how long it sat there for. Even Trump was watching at home like, wow, 2 minutes with Mike Pence. I could never do that. We got to get that fly into the White House. Such a powerful, strong fly.